9 body language cues showing an avoidant is secretly obsessed with you and won't admit it. Avoidants are some of the most confusing people you'll ever emotionally engage with. They step back when you lean in, give you cold stares when you're trying to connect with them, and often make you feel like you're the only one who's emotionally invested. But here's the twist. While they may act distant and uninterested on the surface, that doesn't mean they don't care. In fact, some avoidants are secretly obsessed with you. They just won't admit it, not to you, not to themselves, and not even to their closest friends. It's like they're in a private emotional war, craving connection but terrified of it. Their body language tells a completely different story than their words ever will. If you've ever walked away from someone thinking they didn't care, this video might make you reconsider. Let's talk about 9 subtle but powerful body language cues that an avoidant is obsessed with you, but they're too guarded to ever say out loud. These aren't the obvious signs you'd expect. These are the hidden signals that slip out when they think no one is watching. Number 1, their eyes betray them even when their mouth stays silent. You'll notice an avoidant's gaze lingers on you longer than it should. They might be having a conversation with someone else, but their eyes keep drifting back to you. When you catch them looking, they quickly look away and pretend they were checking their phone or looking at something behind you. This isn't accidental. Their brain is wired to track you even when they're trying to appear disinterested. They'll scan the room to find you first when they walk into a space. They'll watch how you interact with other people, noting every smile, every laugh, every gesture. But the moment you make eye contact, they shut down fast. It's like they're giving themselves permission to study you from a distance, but panic when there's a chance of actual connection. Their pupils might dilate when they look at you, which is a biological response they can't control. They blink more when you're talking to them directly because they're processing intense emotions they don't want to show. Number 2, they mirror your movements without realizing it. This is one of the most telling signs because it happens completely unconsciously. When you cross your arms, they cross theirs a few seconds later. When you lean forward, they lean forward too. When you touch your face or play with your hair, they start doing the same thing. Mirroring is what our bodies do when we're deeply focused on someone we care about. It's like their nervous system is syncing up with yours, even though their mind is trying to stay detached. You might notice they copy the way you hold your coffee cup or how you position yourself when you're sitting. They'll even start using similar hand gestures when they talk. This isn't something they're doing on purpose. In fact, if you pointed it out to them, they'd probably deny it or get embarrassed. Their body is betraying their feelings because when we're obsessed with someone, we subconsciously want to be like them and connect with them on every level. Number 3, their body language changes completely when other people show interest in you. Watch what happens when someone else flirts with you or gets too close. An avoidant who's secretly obsessed will have an immediate physical reaction they can't hide. Their jaw might tighten, their shoulders will tense up, or they'll cross their arms defensively. They might start fidgeting with their hands or bouncing their leg under the table. Some will even position themselves physically closer to you without realizing it, like they're marking their territory. They'll face their body toward you and the other person, creating a triangle where they can monitor the situation. Their breathing might change, becoming more shallow or quick. You might see them clench their fists briefly, or their face might flush slightly. They're having a jealousy response, but trying to look cool about it. The more interested the other person seems in you, the more rigid and uncomfortable their body language becomes. Number 4, they create physical barriers when emotions get too intense. You'll notice that when conversations start getting deep or personal, an avoidant will suddenly put something between you and them. They might pick up their phone and hold it in front of their chest, grab a pillow to hug, or even just cross their arms tightly. They're literally building a wall with their body because the emotional intensity is making them panic. Sometimes they'll turn their body slightly away from you while still listening, creating distance without actually moving away. They might start playing with their jewelry, adjusting their clothes, or finding reasons to keep their hands busy. It's like their body is trying to protect them from feeling too much. The more obsessed they are, the more they need these barriers because the feelings are overwhelming them. Number 5, their feet always point toward you even when they're trying to seem disinterested. Feet are the most honest part of body language because people rarely think about controlling them. An avoidant might have their arms crossed and be looking away from you, but their feet will be pointed directly at you. This happens because on a subconscious level, they want to be ready to move toward you or engage with you at any moment. Even when they're sitting in a group, their feet will angle in your direction. If they're standing and talking to someone else, one foot will stay pointed toward where you are. It's like their body is keeping them oriented toward their obsession, even when their mind is trying to play it cool. You might also notice they don't move their feet much when you're around, like they're planted and don't want to risk moving away from you. Number 6, they have nervous habits that only show up around you. These are small, repetitive movements they do when they're trying to manage their anxiety about you. They might tap their fingers on their leg, play with their hair more than usual, or bite their lip when you're talking. Some avoidants will touch their neck or throat area when you're near because they're feeling emotionally choked up but can't express it. Others will rub their arms or hands together like they're trying to self-soothe. You might notice they clear their throat more often when talking to you, or they'll fidget with their clothes, constantly adjusting their shirt or smoothing down their pants. These behaviors spike when you're paying attention to them directly. The nervous energy has to go somewhere, and since they can't express their feelings with words, it comes out through these small physical tells. Number 7, they lean in when you're talking but pull back when you notice. This is a classic push-pull behavior that shows their internal conflict. When you're speaking, especially about something personal or emotional, they'll unconsciously lean their body toward you because they're genuinely interested and want to absorb every word. But the moment they realize what they're doing, or if you lean in too, they'll quickly pull back and create distance again. It's like they're fighting between wanting to be close and needing to stay safe. You might see them start to reach toward you when you're upset, like they want to comfort you, but then they'll stop themselves and pull their hand back. They'll lean forward when you're telling a story they find fascinating, but snap back to a neutral position when they catch themselves being too engaged. Their body wants connection, but their mind hits the brakes every time. Number 8, they position themselves where they can see you, but pretend they're not watching. This is strategic body positioning that lets them monitor you without being obvious about it. At parties or group gatherings, they'll choose seats or standing spots that give them a clear view of you while looking like they're focused on something else. They might stand near a wall where they can see the whole room, or sit at an angle where you're in their peripheral vision. When you move to a different area, they'll find an excuse to relocate to, always maintaining that visual connection. They'll pretend to be absorbed in their phone or a conversation, but their body stays angled so they can track your movements. If you disappear from their sight line, you'll notice them shifting uncomfortably or finding reasons to move until they can see you again. They're like a security guard for their own obsession, always keeping you within range. Number 9, their breathing changes when you get physically close. This is the most involuntary and telling sign because breathing is controlled by the nervous system, not conscious thought. When you move into their personal space, their breathing becomes shallow and quick, or sometimes they'll hold their breath altogether. You might notice their chest rising and falling faster when you lean over them to reach something, or when you accidentally brush against them. Some avoidants will take a sharp intake of breath when you touch them, even casually. Their body is having an intense reaction to your proximity, but they're trying to keep it hidden. They might start breathing through their mouth instead of their nose because their heart rate has increased. Sometimes they'll take an obvious deep breath and exhale slowly, like they're trying to calm themselves down after you've moved away. Their nervous system is going haywire because being close to you triggers both desire and panic at the same time. So what do you do when you suspect an avoidant is showing these body language signs? First, understand that this dynamic isn't about fixing them. Body language cues aren't the same as emotional availability. You might be the focus of their physical attention, but still feel completely confused and emotionally drained with them. What you're sensing through their body language may be real, but that doesn't mean it's healthy. You deserve connection that doesn't come with constant detective work. You deserve love that's spoken clearly, not just silently expressed through nervous fidgeting and stolen glances. Don't ignore your intuition if their body language is telling you there's something deeper going on. But remember, it's not your job to decode someone who refuses to be honest about their feelings. Their nervous system wanting you isn't enough. They have to show up for you with their actions and their voice, not just their unconscious physical reactions. In the end, obsession without courage is just emotional chaos. Love should not feel like you're constantly analyzing every gesture and movement